into some of the conflicts between different groups in the world of the tree, some of which are kind of internal conflicts and some of which are more externally focused. And I think that comes through in this sequence from the prologue to Samihas Song that I am about to read to you. Kill the witch! The crowd waited for her. She could hear its faraway voice, 100 mouths speaking as one. The sound echoed loudly over the city, though the docks were some distance away, then faded as the breeze changed direction. The young woman listened a moment. She sat on a stool in a tiny windowless room, at a table littered with scraps of paper. The candle by her elbow provided the only light. A draught caught the flame, causing it to gutter. Carefully, she shielded it with her hand until it grew bright. Then she turned her attention to the paper, dipped a pen in an inkwell, and wrote. I used to know who I was. I was the 12th Keon, the chained one, the last Nurian sovereign before the end times. My fate had been foretold by grafters down the ages. I would be captured by my enemies and put to death. After my passing, the old world would be consumed, and a new one would grow up out of the ashes. Kill the sorceress! The angry cry echoed from the air harbour. A single voice led the pack on the dock, the crowd taking up the words with bleating conformity. The woman continued to write urgently, bending close to the paper. There was not much time left. The morning hours had already slipped away. It would not be long now before the soldiers came to her. Now I am not so sure. Now I wonder. Who is this woman who is so eager to embrace death? Am I only that tool of destiny marched onto a dusty stage to perform her role, deliver her lines, and make way for more important players? Or am I the deluded fool the Argosian priests describe, half mad and living out the lies drummed into her by a dangerous sect? Neither option permits much in the way of personal thought. Neither allows for a mind, a heart, a soul. Death to the whore of Ner, cried the voices. The woman paid them no heed. She wrote furiously, a slight frown wrinkling her forehead, pale and freckled in the candlelight. The soldiers would come, and she would not be ready. I refuse to be either a heretic or a martyr. I will not play their games. Though I stand by my beliefs, I will not have anyone think I died willingly. I am not convinced as I once was that when change comes, for it will come, it will be the familiar, satisfying mix of reward and retribution we Nurians expect. It will be uncomfortable, unsatisfying, as compromise generally is. I rely on you, Timon, to tell my story without embellishment. I am not a hero. I am not a martyr. Mine is a tale of failure, written in the language of defeat, the language of the conqueror. Only my name, Samihas, survives in the original. The people here mispronounce it. In any case, the name and person will soon be rubbed out. I go now to my execution, but I do not begrudge them this final payment. I do not ask for retribution. Her eyes darted away from the page as bolts rattled in a trapdoor on the floor of the room. A man shaped, an Argosian, a soldier, rose up against the background of torchlight. Out, he growled, and withdrew. She did not comply immediately, bent over her desk. Her hand clutching the pen moved across the paper as if of its own accord. She could not stop writing. The red-brown ink spilled from the end of the reed like a trail of dried blood. Remember, my love, she wrote, there is no triumph without loss, no power without weakness. My life has been the exact opposite of a hero's. A hero spends his time fighting for victory and making his mark on the world. I fall and fail and will be forgotten, at least for a while. If you wish to see me again, do not fear darkness and defeat. Do not fear loss. If you can do that, if you can unbind yourself from wanting and winning, then we will meet again at the heart of the world, where all divisions cease.